All right. We are back with another episode. Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. What's going on? What's going on, Kyle? How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's a little bit of a lull in the sports world, but I think it's about to pick up because this weekend got NBA free agency, which I think is going to be
Ooh-wee.
crazy. So I
I
can't
feel
wait.
like we should have like a technically it starts Friday night, like 6 o'clock. That's when like the
Right.
tampering period starts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about having a little. Well, I'm not sure how it's gonna work, but maybe I'm thinking about having like a like a free agency like draft or not free agency like a show, but because I feel like the craziest days are gonna happen like Friday and like Saturday, like the weekend. That's usually when the big trades happen, and then like when it dies down, summer league, like you hear like small little trades, but yeah, we're definitely gonna get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think we all knew who that. Hey, I'm still hoping that I can join on your podcast.
What's going on, Steve?
What's going on, Steve? Yeah, it doesn't have your name on there, so I don't know who it is, but I think it's Steve. But yeah, hope everyone's doing good. Welcome to another episode of the JJ Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jordan Jean Louis, aka JJL, and then I got my boy, my co-host Kyle Edwards. He's also his own host of the Chomping at the Bit. I think you're going to be going live for a soccer game, right? In a couple days
Yeah,
for like Sunday.
Sunday is going to be USA versus Trinidad. So yes, I will be live for that.
Trinidad. Wow, they're in the
Yeah, they're in the Gold Cup.
is
Yeah,
Haiti
it's
is Haiti in the Gold Cup
yes.
too?
Haiti
Haiti.
plays tonight against
Ooh.
Mexico.
So this is like for like is this qualifying for the World Cup or
No,
like
this is
just
just the Gold Cup.
Gold Cup?
It's just the summer like CONCACAF championship tournament that they have. Um, it's kind of a big deal, but it's not really because now that you have Nations League, most of the countries worry about that more than Gold Cup. So you won't necessarily see the best players for each country at the Gold Cup, but it's still a pretty good tournament.
All right, all right. Yeah. I saw on Facebook that you're gonna be going live for that, so I might tune in.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. I know NBA. That's probably like, gonna take up most of the show.
Yep.
You got the I got a few topics in the NFL, but nothing really too major. Like you said, training camps going on.
Mm-hmm.
I know D Hop's still on the market. I know New England just signed Devonte Parker. So
Yes.
we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, let's get right into the NBA. So the tampering period that starts 6 p.m. tomorrow. I would say tomorrow evening. I
Yep.
know, like Damian Lillard he's the talk of the town. I know Lakers are trying to push for Bruce Brown because he's that's the only player they have to worry about as far as acquiring contract. All their players are under contract like Murray, Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
so he might get dealt to. So any trades you want to talk about or any free agency news you want to talk about like first that's on your mind?
I mean, the Bruce Brown thing is interesting. I just don't think he goes anywhere. I think Denver finds a way to bring him back because he's that important to them. The Lillard stuff, I'm so over Dame Lillard, but I guess it's interesting to see maybe who blinks first. The more I think about it, though, I just think he stays in Portland because I don't think Dame wants to make the request, and I don't think the team necessarily wants to trade him, even though I could make the argument that's the best for their future to move him, get some young players, and go about it that way because maybe this is something Portland just needs to kind of look in the mirror and tell themselves Dame Lillard as the number one guy is not winning you a title, unfortunately. That doesn't mean he's not a great player. It's just he doesn't affect winning to the circumstance that you could win a title with him. He's just going to be like another Carmelo. Carmelo's the same way. Great player, but you would never want him to be the number one guy and try to win a title. Just would never happen. So I think that's where Portland is, but I think it's just gonna be tough for a guy who a lot of the fans and the community have really attached to. Moving on from somebody is always tough for a team to do. I mean, we talked about Marcus Smart and the Celtics. Same kind of situation. A guy has been there for years. People have really connected with. But at a certain point, you have to make that tough decision and do what's right for your future, for the future of your franchise going forward.
Yeah, like you said it like perfectly. I know that I get it. Like Dame wants to, I'm not sure if he has like a wife yet or kids yet, but I know he wants wherever he wants to go. I'm pretty sure he wants to end his career there. I mean, or maybe he wants to go back to Portland like one more year when his career is done. But the next spot he wants to like settle down. He wants to make sure his family's good. But I'm just tired of like him going back and forth where it's like he wants to stay he wants to be like the Michael Jordan, like stay, homegrown. Well, I don't think he's homegrown, but stick with one team.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jordan went to the Wizards like the tail end of his career, but Dame, he said he doesn't want to ring chase. He said he wants to, he thinks that accolades are more important than rings to build your legacy. He said that, and then he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. He said after like the night of the draft this year, he said that if they draft Scoot Henderson, which they did, I don't want to be a part of that new team. So it's like, man, damn, man, it's got to take sides, man. You want to stay and be loyal to your fan base, like Kyle said, because those fans are so attached. And I'm not talking bad about him. Like he's an excellent player, an elite point guard. He's just been surrounded by McCollum because he was a good shooter, but Nazir a little. I mean, you just have Nurkic. He's always hurt. And now the question is, now you have your teammates lingering on your decision, like Jeremiah Grant. He's a free agent. I'm pretty sure his decision is weighing on his decision of if Dame's going to be there or not. Cause I'm pretty sure Jeremiah doesn't really want to. Well, he doesn't really want to be a part of that rebuild, but he will be a part of that core though. My dad's calling, but I do think that Dame needs to make up his decision.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to make up his mind. And that leads into the first topic of the show, because Draymond Green yesterday he traveled to Portland and met with Dame in Portland.
Yep.
We haven't really heard anything how the meeting went, but I know Draymond, or I know Dame said in order for me to say I want Draymond and Jeremiah Grant. So just give me your input on. I know that face like la la la, but yeah, just give me your input on that.
So, all right, so Dame didn't want them to draft Scoot Henderson, even though Portland offered the number 3 pick to try to get Mikal Bridges. Brooklyn said no, so they took Scoot Henderson. I'm kind of glad that they went ahead and did that, and then when the Bridges deal didn't go through, I'm glad they didn't try to like pawn off number 3 for some lesser talent. So I'm glad they made the pick. But if Dame's decision to stay in Portland is hinged on them getting Draymond Green and re-signing Jeremy Grant, then what are we doing here? That doesn't bring a title to Portland either. I know he's not about ring chasing, but like, how competitive would you see Portland being next year if the only thing that's changed is they brought in Draymond Green? Because if they re-signed Jeremy Grant, he was there last year. The team wasn't any good. What does that do? Like, if that's his legitimate like request in order for him to want to stay in Portland, then okay, I guess if I'm Portland, I'm like, how many years do we need to go through this back and forth, riding the fence that Lillard does, because he doesn't want to be painted as the bad guy and just openly come out with a trade request, which I guess would go against the ring chasing, because that would kind of be seen as a ring chasing type of move. But if he's trying to play GM and the only free agent that's out there that he could see that would make a difference is Draymond Green, then he's also delusional about how close this Portland team is to really competing in the West. Yes, I get it. The West is wide open, but Portland, you are an afterthought at this point. There are so many teams in the West I'd put ahead of you. I mean, Denver, we know is there. Memphis, even with the 25 game suspension for John Morant, they're better than you.
Do you
Phoenix
think
only
Draymond
has
Green,
5 guys on the roster. I would take them over Portland right now.
do you think if Draymond goes to the Portland, how do you rate the Warriors? Because the Warriors are because everyone has Draymond going back to the Warriors because like he's like glued to the team. So how would you rate them? Like if all in all like that meeting went well, like they had pizza and went to a nice dinner afterwards, like after the meeting, like I mean. I haven't really heard anything about the meeting, how it went. I don't know if you have heard anything about it. But if all went well, I mean, where would you put the Warriors on that list in the West?
I mean, part of me, I think it was top of the key. I put in like the comment section, like, what if Draymond literally just went there to try to convince Portland to send Lillard to Golden State for some package surrounding like CP3, Kuminga, and some picks or something? Who knows? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he wants to get into Dave's head, go to the front office, tell him you want to go to Golden State. We'll give you CP3. We'll give you Kuminga. You want Moody? Take him too. I don't know. Maybe Lillard. That's where this all ends up. The two of them in Golden State,
that would be nasty, man.
That'd be crazy. But I guess for your question, if Draymond were to go to Portland, I would assume Golden State has some type of backup plan. Because I'm already questioning the CP3 involvement and whether or not he actually makes it the whole year in Golden State. But now you'd be asking, I guess, Kuminga to slide into the Draymond role, which maybe he can do that. But I don't even think that's what he wants to do. I mean, Steve Kerr would have to change the way that they play, which, I mean, I think he's a smart enough guy that he could figure that out. It'd be interesting. I might even still have Golden State ahead of Portland. I mean, because Lillard would still be the best player even if they bring in Draymond. As I said before, I just don't think Lillard is that guy to get you there. Maybe they're a 6 seed, okay, but they might be one and done in the playoffs. So, I don't know. I still think Draymond ends up in Golden State. It's too coincidental for me that he opts out, and the very first move that they do is trade away Jordan Poole. And that wasn't that like literally the day when the little report came out about the stuff he said to Draymond that led to the punch and all that. The timing was just it just lined up too well for those two moves not to kind of mean something towards each other. So maybe Dame is just up there. I mean, Draymond's just up there trying to recruit Dame to somehow get to Golden State. I just don't know.
I didn't think about it could either be they want to team up in Portland, or it could be that he wants to have do a sales pitch to Dame. Hey, come here. But because I saw a Twitter post from NBA Central that they're planning on having Curry play alongside Chris, or Chris play alongside Curry. So push Looney out. So it'll be CP3, Curry, Clay, Wiggins, and then Draymond as a center.
That is
kind of a small
tiny
ball
lineup.
It is a line. Oh yeah, but Mooney. I mean, I'm sorry, Looney. Like he.
I mean, I will say Looney isn't necessarily a starting center in this league. So if he's your backup center, that's not bad. But I would hope that they would. It's kind of what I thought their offseason was going to be about. That they would try to bring in a big guy to put in that rotation somewhere. It seems like that's not in their plans because, I mean, I'd probably rather see Chris Paul come off the bench too. Maybe Chris Paul, Looney in a second unit could work. But if they're planning on starting him and Draymond be your everyday starting center, it's a very small lineup. It's a lineup that you would think would want to run all day, but Chris Paul's not trying to run all day. Kind of seems counterintuitive, but they probably could make it work. I don't know. That's very interesting.
What's going on, Jory? For some reason I
What's
can't
up,
see
Jory?
the Facebook name. I don't know if it says Facebook user, but
yeah, I think that's something that they're working on.
Pretty sure Jory said Golden State looking like they are finished. Yeah, a lot of people have. I mean, Draymond going to staying with the Warriors, so maybe they're not too far off the be competitive in the West. But like Kyle said earlier, like there's so many teams. Like the West is it's wide open after Denver. That's barring free agency, what teams make, what moves teams make. But I find it interesting that I dropped the Twitter thingy in the chat the other day. Draymond, like Dame's dream list of people he wants, and then 2 days after that, Draymond hops on a plane and goes to Portland. So, like who knows? Like we don't know what happened in that meeting, what was said, what was discussed, but I guess we'll find out after 6 p.m. on Friday, because that's when obviously teams are kind of making their hashing out their deals and stuff now because they can't do anything right now until like that deadline ends or is uplifted. So I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces. I mean, there was one time Dame going to the Miami. And then I think Portland said they're not really interested in Hero. So that was like Miami's the only tradable piece other than maybe picks, giving away picks. But I heard Max Strus is he's a hot favorite in Chicago, I think, or Cleveland, I think I heard. So I think it's going to not be the wildest, the wildest free agency I've seen, but definitely one of the most, craziest I've seen, with a lot of moving pieces going around. I mean, I know like the next topic on the dock was since the last podcast, like a lot of things have happened with your team, with the whole Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics and Marcus Smart being dealt to the Grizzlies in spite of the John Morant suspension. I mean, I think that the Grizzlies won that trade, but if Kristaps could, be the center that everyone wants him to be, or everyone wants him to be, then without being injured, I think he can be. I think Celtics might win that trade because if you have Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis all clicking together, that's scary. But for right now, I think that Grizzlies have won the trade because, time and time again, like on the Sports Empire Network and my network, like we said that other than Steven Adams Steven Adams, like he was the only veteran presence on that team. Like they're all, like Jaren Jackson, he's not really a veteran presence. Desmond Bain, I feel like he's the only one that was more level-headed on the team. And then John Morant, he's always in trouble. So and then Dylan Brooks. So now they get like a Marcus Smart where he brings that vocal veteran presence. Yeah. That's a big part of like what Boston is going to be missing from him. That toughness, that resilience. He always sets charges, takes the hit. Like he always gets in the way of LeBron for a charge. Those plays that you don't really like, not really on that don't really make the stat sheet. I mean, obviously I'll let you go after because I want to hear your opinion on this because you're a Celtics fan, but I think that's what they're getting. I mean, I think that Taylor Jenkins is a perfect coach for Marcus Smart. He's a very calm. From what we've seen, he's a very calm coach.
Might be a little too calm the way that Memphis's locker room.
Oh yeah, I know.
It was looking last season, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I feel like he's a laid back, chill coach. Yeah. But you can't. I mean, who knows? He might be aggressive in practice or whatever behind the when the cameras are not on that team. But I think that right now, I think that Memphis has gotten a good point guard, defensive player of the year. Point guard, you don't really see like a point guard getting like that credit. Maybe Drew Holiday, maybe, or Marcus Smart. So they're definitely getting and that takes a lot for me to say because I used to be a Marcus Smart like hater, just like Draymond Green. I used to hate Draymond Green.
There's a lot of people that hate Marcus Smart.
He,
it's all right,
but he grew on me, so he definitely earned my respect. Even though he flops a little bit here and there, but
I mean, if you want to be real about it, you watch a guy on a lot of nights for your team flops a lot.
Who's that?
Actually, there's a couple of guys in your squad that flop a lot.
I don't know.
You know who they are. You know who they are.
Well, a couple guys who other than the one you're talking about, who flops on our team?
I mean, you're such a Lakers fan, you can't even say his name.
I mean, LeBron James.
There you go. Dennis Schroeder is a flopper. He's a big time flopper. Just saying. All right, Marcus Smart, yes, he does flop, yes, but hey, it's the NBA. You know how you get rid of flopping? The refs don't have to fall for it. If they're gonna fall for it every time, why are these guys gonna stop doing it? So that's all I'll say about that. But I do want to go back to one of Jory's comments because I see Jory, Brett, Josh is in here, Freddie, what's going on? But she said that Golden State looks like they might be done. I think Golden State's going through a period of I don't know, reflection, you want to call it that? The group of Draymond, Curry, and Thompson, it's definitely broken down from their championship years. Klay Thompson looks like a shell of himself. I still think that that's an issue that they're going to have to address at some point, whether it's making him a bench guy or what, I don't know. But yeah, between him and CP3, if they are in their starting lineup next year, there's going to be some rough nights in Golden State. But I think there's another comment too. Brett had one. Yeah, can't wait to see how the Cavs adjust their small forward position. It's really holding them back. I agree with that as well because Cleveland, I think, could be a really good team next year. As a Celtics fan, which I guess I'll weave this into the Marcus Smart talk, but looking at the East right now, Milwaukee, I'll always put up there because if you have Giannis, I feel like you're always a contender. After that, once you get to the Celtics and then beyond that, look, if Philly brings back Harden at the kind of money that might be, rumored, I'm not putting Philly up there. I wouldn't put Philly up there anyway until they prove it to me. CP3 has to come off the bench. I agree with that, but seems like he's going to be a starter right now. But Cleveland is that third team I think could be really, really good next year. You have Mitchell. You have Garland, even though there's been some talks about he could possibly be dealt. I'll believe that when I see it. You got the Twin Towers and Allen and Mobley, so you feel like you can play against teams when they go big. If someone wants to go small ball against you, you could just move Mobley to the 5, and you're kind of covered there. The small forward position, which Brett brought up, I think is interesting because if they could find a guy who could play on the wing with Donovan Mitchell, who's a guy who's a legitimate scorer, can get you, 15 to 18 a game and be consistent with that, I think that would take Cleveland to the next step where they're like a legitimate contender with Milwaukee and Boston. But maybe that's something they address starting Friday. I'm not really sure who they could target. I mean, I brought up a name on Cheap Seats, Terrence Ross, but, he's a wing guy who can score. I don't know if you'd want him. Well, yeah, he could be like a spot starter or a bench guy who can come in. So maybe that's a guy they target. I don't know what Cleveland's salary cap position is or anything like that, but I agree with Brett. That's going to be interesting to see. But I guess to circle back finally to the Celtics, look, Marcus Smart, tough to see him go. I do think it was a move that probably had to be made because Derek White showed in the playoffs that he could be a legitimate contributor with Jalen and Jason. So now the guard position became a little overcrowded because you can only play two guys, and you have Brogdon, White, Smart, three guys who could play 30 plus minutes a night, on a contending team. You can only play two at a time. One had to go. They tried Brogdon and didn't work. I think White is not necessarily untouchable, but he's the guy they want to continue with. So the only one was Smart who had to go. As Joshua said, I think the Porzingis move is a great move because Horford doesn't have to play, crazy minutes next season. You got Porzingis who can play 30 plus minutes now. Maybe that saves Horford's legs in the playoffs where he can be an effective three-point shooter. That Miami series, Horford couldn't buy a three. That really hurt them. Robert Williams, this allows them defensively to have Porzingis be a rim protector. Robert Williams is a rim protector as well. But if you remember the Miami series, when they started playing better defense, Robert Williams was kind of roaming around, helping out on the perimeter, running out, chasing guys off the three-point line. You can do that if Porzingis is on the floor with him. Or you just run Porzingis with a lineup of Tatum, Brown, White, Brogdon, still effective. So I think for Boston, it was the move that Brad Stevens had to make. It was a ballsy move in getting rid of a guy in Smart who was such a fan favorite, did a lot in the community and all that. But it's a move that I agree with and I would have made as well. I mean, you already mentioned for Memphis, they just get a guy who knows how to win. Nobody on Memphis really has that. Last year they came in with a lot of promise. Dylan Brooks, Morant, whatever, Taylor Jenkins kind of showed in that series against the Lakers, it was the Lakers who eliminated them, right? I can't. Seems like last season was like 4 years ago now, but yeah, they just played like a team that didn't know how to handle the spotlight. They kept leaving Dylan Brooks open. He would brick three after three, and it seemed like Memphis had no answer for it. Now with the Marcus Smart, he can get on guys who aren't performing well. He can, call out guys, whether it's behind closed doors or send signals through the media. He can do that. And I think that's going to really help out Memphis as well. Also Joshua, yes, Brogdon is still on the team. The Clippers didn't take him because of issues with his elbow, but from all things that Boston's been saying, it seems like he might not need surgery and could be fine. But that's something we'll definitely have to watch. And what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird that you can't. I can't see like the user, or can you you can see their actual names?
No, I just pulled up the stream because it's an issue with Facebook.
Oh, is that what your stream too? Sometimes when you okay,
yeah, I think Streamlabs is trying to fix it.
Yeah, like Jory said, this is going to be one of those franchises where a lot of moving pieces are going to be happening. I agree on that. A lot of moving pieces. So I'm excited to see what. I just heard that Harden wants to. Might be wanting like $50 million a year. So I don't know about that.
If Daryl Morey does, I'm not even a Sixers fan. I have to sit here and actually, give them advice or something. But why? That's all I would say. Why? You bring back Harden. You have Embiid. It's another year where, when the Celtics play them, I'll sit there and be like, Maxey should be more involved. Harden's obviously not going to let him do that. You already got the Tobias Harris thing, which I think they have to figure out because his dad's been doing a lot of talking for him as well. If you bring back the same team, what have you fixed? If they bring him back, that means Morey thinks the issue last year was Doc Rivers, because they changed that. They brought in Nick Nurse. If that's what they think, they'll be in for a rude awakening this season, because they have more issues than just Doc Rivers. And one of them they could have gotten rid of in James Harden, but if they bring him back, that's probably their biggest problem. But,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see like what teams, both in the East and West, kind of like can like reshape their roster where they can go to toe with Denver. Right now, obviously the early draft day before, or I can't say draft, early free agency, day before the free agency starts. Obviously, I'm going to say right now that there's no team right now that can knock off the Denver, because right now they're the only team that's stress free with. Other than Bruce Brown, where he's going to go back to Denver. That's the only kind of piece that's kind of like on that team that's kind of like is in the news right now.
There's a team that could beat Denver.
Not your Celtics.
Okay, believe it if you want.
Was it the team that was that the team that you were that you're hoping for?
The Celtics could beat Denver.
I think Milwaukee can beat them if they get some more pieces in the offseason.
I was about to say Milwaukee. Very well.
I'm saying I'll talk about more in the West. How the teams.
Okay, I got you.
But I mean, if that sounds boring if Kristaps can stay healthy.
Once again, Kristaps Porzingis played more games than Marcus Smart last year. And Marcus Smart is seen as one of the more durable guys in the league. I'm just saying. And Marcus Smart's getting around 30. And you just talked about it. The guy lays his body on the line night in and night out. I wonder how many years Marcus Smart has left in his body. Not because of skill or anything like that, but he plays through a lot. He plays through ankle injuries. He plays through hip injuries. He plays through it all, which is one of the reasons why I loved Marcus Smart so much. But that's something that got to watch the next few years.
Yeah, now, I'm tuning into. I have the video on Facebook mute, but I had the comments up. What's up, Cool? What's up, Josh?
See, Cool agrees with me. He thinks Boston could give Denver a run for their money, and he's a Denver fan.
I'm just catching up with the comments. So,
yeah, I got you.
Who would you take, Brooks or wait? Are you saying for Josh? Are you saying that for Brooks or Barnes for what team?
I think he's just saying in general. I would love to hear what you'd say.
Like Lopez or Brook Lopez or Barnes?
Oh, I read that as Dylan Brooks.
Or, I didn't know which Brooks.
I guess Harrison Barnes.
Well, no Harrison Barnes, but I just didn't know the other Brooks.
Yes, I think that's Dylan Brooks.
I thought he's out of the league. Dylan Brooks, or he's not on the team.
Dylan Brooks will be on a team next season.
Not the Lakers, man. I don't want him on the Lakers.
Okay, and I bet you if they signed him, you'll be like, you know what?
He does bring that
good defense.
He does. Okay, so you meant Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. So we'll take this question for you. Can talk for the Lakers, and I will talk for the Celtics.
For the Celtics.
Yeah.
So how old is Dylan? Dylan's like what? Still in his mid-20s?
Yeah, Dylan's a young guy.
And Harrison Barnes has been in the league for quite a while.
So he's in his 30s, yes.
If I want to look at like longevity, I would say Brooks, because like he's more younger.
Okay.
I'm not hating on Harrison Barnes. He can shoot, he can stretch the floor. He's like a player that PJ Tucker wishes he could be. That spot up shooter who shoots consistently from the three. Whereas like Harrison Barnes, I mean, who would you rather have like on the corner, PJ Tucker or Harrison Barnes? I'm picking Harrison Barnes.
Well, I mean, Philly doesn't have PJ Tucker for shooting threes. It just turned out that way because Harden wasn't shooting some games. Which, once again, you want to pay $50 million for that? Knock yourselves out.
So I guess I'm gonna go with your answer, Joshua. I think I'm gonna go with Brooks. Just because like of youth. And we're not really that far off from Denver because I know we need to keep Austin Reeves. We need to keep Hachimura, and we need to get some. Just I think we picked up Vanderbilt's option, which I like. I don't mind. He brings that lengthy big player who can play defense and slash to the paint. Still, he's young.
He also didn't play a lot against Denver, though.
I'm surprised he didn't. I know he played well against the Warriors.
I think his jump shot kind of went south, and that led to him not really playing, I guess.
And I do like the rookie that we picked up too, Jalen Hood. And the rookie, I think he'll get some playing time too, but we'll see how they incorporate him.
Mm-hmm.
But as an answer to Josh, I think I'm gonna pick Dylan. He was barking at the wrong tree, man. But
Let's stop that. I mean, guys like Dylan Brooks, Marcus Smart, Pat Beverly, they're gonna talk. The only problem I had with what Dylan Brooks did was when it was thrown back in his face from the press conference, he tried to play victim. That's the only problem I had. I don't care if you want to talk about LeBron. Go ahead and do it. If that's what gets you going, knock yourself out. But you have to be able to answer for it if it blows up in your face. He didn't want to do that. That's the only issue I had with Dylan Brooks.
Right.
So cool. I mean, cool kind of took my answer because I was about to say if I'm the Celtics, give me Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes will be fine with a bench role. I know what I'll get from him night in and night out. He'll give me probably 12 to 15 points a night. He'll play smart. He'll be in the right spots. He'll be ready when the ball's kicked out to him. Give me Harrison Barnes. I've kind of been on the Harrison Barnes to Boston for like a couple of years, but I think he ended up in Sacramento, which I thought was a really great move for them. You saw how it paid off for them this year. But yeah, I would take Harrison Barnes over Dylan Brooks.
Gotcha. So I'm looking at the comments. So I think cool. He has the little green. That means he's in the stream watching. He has the little green video camera by his name. I know Josh.
Yes. That means that they're like actively watching right now. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I appreciate all the people in the comments. Definitely. Thank you, Cool and Josh. I think Patrick was watching too. Patrick Geekle. Thank you, man, for tuning in. I'm just catching up on the comments. Joshua. Okay. Harden said. Or not Harden said. Cole said Harden gonna get overpaid wherever he go. Harden isn't needed. They need to move on from Harden and Harris, bring in better bench pieces. Mm-hmm. Hey, cool, man. I know Damian's your team, but I mean, hey, I take a crumble cookie over Tobias Harris, man. I love crumble cookie, man. I should be like a spokesperson for crumble cookie. That quote was so funny, man. When Tobias Harris, he was like, "Take me over a crumble cookie. Take me over a crumble cookie." Apparently, I think that if he stays on the team, every fan gets a free cookie. Hey, shoot, I'm going to Philly, man, for that day, man. It's like,
but I mean, if I'm Philly, look, if I could move off of Harden, or I guess keep Harden and Tobias Harris around, I'd rather move Harden. I guarantee if you move Harden, you would see a better Tobias Harris. Because if you're Tobias Harris, your game is kind of slashing, so driving to the hoop, posting up smaller guys, not just standing around the perimeter. That's kind of what he does in Philly, which is why he looks so ineffective. And a lot is because when you have Harden on the floor, he just wants to run pick and roll with Embiid. They run that over and over and over again. I feel like you take Harden out of the equation, you get, I guess Tyrese Maxey would be on the ball. I think you get a better Tobias Harris. And if Philly hasn't figured that out, then if they're going to bring back Harden, then they might as well just trade Tobias Harris. Otherwise, you're just going to get the same thing with him. So if that's ultimately where they're trying to go, fine. Then I guess I see the direction. But if not, it makes no sense for both those guys.
I had some NFL talk. But I think we're gonna. I mean, the only thing that with the NFL, we have that game. I'm gonna gets the NFL player. That's definitely never going to do for NFL. I think we're going to have the Joy Show for the NBA because I know we have some NBA comments. Because that's another story. God, I think Josh Bailey said he wants to know where Kyrie will be going. Oh man, I know Kyle.
That's another guy.
I know the names you hate are Ben Simmons. The one you're tired of talking about Ben Simmons, Damian Lillard.
Yep.
Who's that dude we both hate on the Suns, man?
Campaign.
Campaign. And now it's Kyrie.
Kyrie Irving, yes.
Yep. But we have to talk about it because
let's do it.
He is I think tomorrow he's meeting with Phoenix. That'll be interesting. Will Kyrie gonna be teaming up with Durant again? Possibly. With Beal there.
Oh man.
So there's a lot of egos on one team. I don't know how that's gonna work. Vogel has dealt with that, coaching the Lakers, different egos. LeBron, AD.
This is that times 40.
Oh, this is times
100,000. You got burner account Durant. You got sensitive Kyrie. You got
Kylie Jenner or Booker.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Good luck, Frank Vogel. Good luck.
No, thanks for joining Freddie. I think
I agree. Cool. That's the recipe to destroy your. I mean, luckily there's only 6 guys in the locker room right now, so not that much.
I mean, I think do you think that Bradley Beal has an ego? I think he just plays spiritual play. I don't think he has any problems. So he's probably the only level-headed player in that locker room right now. He just wants to play ball.
He could have an ego though, but he was in Washington. Like, who was paying attention?
Right. So I want to thank Freddie for coming in and Michael coming in. But yeah, I'm interested to see like how that meeting goes. I know people are saying that he's gonna end up back in Dallas, but I mean, if he wants to win, and if they can all stay healthy, because KD got hurt in warmups, so they can't stay healthy. So I'm Brooklyn. They didn't even put that much on Brooklyn together, so it's like with Harden, Kyrie, and Durant. But that'd be interesting. I mean, new coach, new owner. Owner wants to go all in. Kyrie's coming to Phoenix tomorrow. I don't know if it's before the deadline. Probably early in the day on Friday.
That's a lot of money to pay out too.
Maybe Kyrie will take the veteran minimum, man. I don't know.
There's not a chance in the world with his ego he's taking a veteran minimum to go anywhere.
I wonder how much cap space they have.
They're probably over the cap already. Kyrie might take them to the second apron, which now you're talking about a bigger tax bill. Which I think some teams are going to be afraid of going over the apron, but I think some teams might just be like, who cares? If it gets us a title to pay a big tax bill, we'll take the risk. But if you do it and it blows up in your face, then you look foolish. So that's going to kind of be the balancing act that some of these teams are going to have to do. Phoenix, I know, they have to be desperate to win a title because a couple of years ago they get there, lose to Milwaukee, have kind of fallen back since then. I don't know. Because for Kyrie, I feel like there's only maybe 3 spots left in the league he could go. He can go back to Dallas because it seems like Mark Cuban is a fan. And we know Kyrie needs to be loved, so he's got that. 2.
It's like you're talking about him like a dog. He needs to be loved.
I'm just saying. Kyrie's not exactly the best to have, turmoil around him and hope that he comes out of it mature and a leader. He's not that type. So if you could make it as cushy for Kyrie as possible, you'll probably get the best out of him. If LeBron wants him in LA, he'll end up in LA, which I would say good luck to you watching that 82 games a night. Or I guess 42. We don't really know how many games Kyrie's going to play, whether it's injury or outside interest. I have seen a reunion with the Celtics floated around. I think people are People who don't even know me must be trying to give me a heart attack because I couldn't go through that again. And Phoenix, maybe Phoenix is a spot he could go. I just don't see the point in paying him that money. So I think it all ends up with him in Dallas somehow. Outside of those teams, I don't know where he could go. Like Houston has money. I wouldn't bring Kyrie Irving around a group of young players because he'll destroy that, whatever dynamic you have there. And he's burning up bridges already with places he's been. Is only limited, so I think it's Dallas for him. Would you want him in LA? I mean, I think before you might have said Kyrie in LA, you'd be down for it, but like, would you take that now? And wait, aren't the Lakers supposedly bringing back D'Angelo? I thought I saw some report about that.
I saw that too, I think on Twitter. I'm not sure how true that is. I'm not sure if things can happen and things can change. I mean, I did see that report that they plan on bringing him back. But I guess your question about Kyrie, the Lakers. I mean, at one point I did want him. I thought he was gonna get traded that day he went to the Mavs, like because the Mavs were like a curveball team. I didn't know he was gonna go there. And then especially hearing about the pieces they dropped, like Finney Smith to the Nets. And like all of that, so I was like kind of surprised about it. So I wanted him actually on the team like that day, but that shocked me for real. But I mean, right now, if I want him on the team, I mean, the only elite superstar he won a championship is with LeBron. I think he's the only superstar he has worked with. I know LeBron had the clutch historic block on Iguodala, but Kyrie had the dagger over Curry to like seal the game. So it's like I would want him on my team, yes, but like if I say that, wait, hold on, is this a trap question? Because I feel like every time I say yes, you want every player on the team. I want Jeremiah Grant. I want.
You think a trap question for me? No,
no. Oh, so you really want? Oh, okay. Because I feel like if I say yes, you're like, oh my god, you want everybody on your team.
I mean, you do, but I think this one probably has a chance of happening, possibly.
Yeah, so I'm definitely. I mean, yeah, I want him on my team. But then again, he has to like keep the drama to a minimum.
You could forget about that.
There's
gonna be drama no matter
what. But I mean, I like to see before LeBron, because I heard that Bronny might where he's projected to go is Atlanta, I think, for right now. So before
I saw that,
yeah, it's just early until like plays and stuff. It's like I think it's like 17th pick. I think they have the Hawks.
That's wild that they're projected that he hasn't played a game at USC.
So you think it's I guess we'll get off after this, but like you think that he should be higher or lower in the draft in the draft stock?
I don't know. I'd like to see him play at USC first.
Well, yeah, me too. Me too.
Because he did stuff at what was it, Sierra Canyon or whatever it's called. I don't really read too much into that. A lot of these like AAU type teams, they just get really good players together so everybody looks good. So now with him at USC, let's see. Like what if he goes to USC, he looks like a guy who maybe isn't a superstar but might be a good role player. Would you take somebody like that 17th in the draft, especially if you're the Hawks who have issues of their own?
True.
I mean, the more I say it, I could see Atlanta doing it because Atlanta would love to get the publicity of having Bronny there. But I guess more realistically, we have to see him at USC because he's be playing with a new group. It's not going to be some stacked squad. So let's see how he does the first time he plays at UCLA or at Arizona. Let's see how he handles that environment. And then we could, assess where he should go in the draft. Cool said Hawks have guards for days. They do. They do. And there was a report that they at one point thought about moving DeJounte Murray. So I don't even know if the Hawks really know what they're doing anyway. Why not add another guard? Sure.
Yeah, I'm just going with the comments. My bad. I was trying to get the comments up. Oh, okay. So cool. Oh, so okay. So there's another question that Joshua had. Is Jamal Murray a superstar? Well, then he said Kyrie should go to the Clippers. Cool said Kyrie the cancer. Clips don't mind spending money.
That'd be wild.
Joshua Bailey said, "Please take Draymond Green." Man, hey Josh, if you start watching me, I'd love to have you on the show, man, as a guest, man. You're funny, man. Because you're a Warriors fan, aren't you? I forgot he's a Warriors fan. I think Cool talking about how they Bronny is crazy based off his name and AU type teams.
Right.
I mean, he did have a good season at Sierra Canyon though, a couple years.
So what? Like we went through this with. I mean, Cool had another comment. I mean, Joshua did about the Ball brothers. We did this with them too. I mean, I thought Lonzo was highly overrated based off of his year at UCLA, but remember all those clips of LaMelo dropping like 80 points, basically cherry picking all day, and that made him this big name.
Right.
I mean, it's not to say he hasn't been a good pro, but I don't think he's lived up to the hype he came in with necessarily. But he's still a pretty good player. So for Bronny, like, let's see what he does at USC first. Like, people need to calm down. I get his last name is James, so we gotta overhype him and all that. But let it play out, people. That's all I'm saying. Like,
oh man,
and he's not the only one they're gonna do it to as well.
Well, don't they have that one dude, Isaiah Collier too?
I don't know. I don't keep with Sierra Canyon.
I got better things to do in my day. No. I mean on USC.
Oh, I don't know.
He's one of the top. Man, Kyle, if you want to do a sports analysis or a sports report, you gotta be.
Yeah, you know what? I'll analyze USC when they're playing in games. And
no, but I'm saying like they're like because you said because I remember you saying like just recently like on the show you said Bronny and then they're kind of like their team is kind of average, but they had probably one of the. I think I'm not sure where Bronny is on the nation like for high school, but Isaiah Collier he's like number 2, number 1 on like best player in the nation.
Okay, let me see it.
But no, I do agree. I do agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. Like we have to see the product. Yeah. You know, it's like an analogy, right? Like if I have a Samsung phone, right, and like you're saying, oh, this iPhone 15 is the best. Okay, I don't know that because I don't have the product in my hand. So it's like, hey, I do get your point where it's like you have to like see them play. And I mean, obviously, who knows? They might skyrocket on draft boards, but we have to see them. Hopefully they'll be more on national TV more often since Brian's going to be on the TV more. So hopefully we'll get more national attention to USC so I can see them play.
They will. Because Pac-12 has a night on ESPN and stuff, and I guarantee USC is going to be in a lot of those games that they showcase. He's at a program in USC that is a name around the country. So like I said, I want to see when he goes to Oregon, how does he play? Arizona, places like that, handle that environment as well as, when they play at USC, of course. But let's see it. Can he get USC into the tournament? That would be a big thing to me because that's the one thing I didn't buy into the Ben Simmons hype when he was at LSU and couldn't get LSU through the SEC, which wasn't even that good then. Couldn't get them to a tournament. What a shock. His NBA career has been a bust. Who knew? Trae Young made the tournament with Oklahoma, but they were kind of a bubble team. And there was a lot of hype behind him that year as well. If you look at Trae Young's career outside of the one deep playoff run where he had his great series against the Knicks, he's kind of been underwhelming when it comes to playoff performances. So some of these NBA people need to calm down and just actually watch the players play before overhyping them.
Do you think people are okay? So we're talking about people who haven't played a game in the NBA yet. I mean, I think I know where I'm going with this. I mean, I know Victor is going to be a superstar, man. But do you think people are overhyping Victor because he's on the Spurs, or do you think that he's going to be really a superstar? You know, because obviously he's played in France, he played in leagues where there's different rules.
That's the difference. That's
So
the same thing with
he's
Luka.
playing with like grown men. Yeah.
That's the same. That's why I thought the Luka Trae Young trade for Atlanta was going to blow up in their face.
Yeah, I don't think Victor. I mean, maybe some people are overhyping him, but I think he's going to be. I think he's going to live up to what he is, man. I think he's going to. I mean, obviously he has a good coach. He has Tim Duncan in his corner. But I mean, some people might be overhyping a little bit because like he hasn't stepped foot on the NBA court for an official game.
True.
And he's on the Spurs, so it's not like. I mean, obviously, I get like Spurs homers. Like Victor Wembanyama championship NBA Finals. Like those fans, you have those.
I don't know. Well, if there's Spurs fans thinking that, then that might be well beyond homer.
But I mean, do you think that some people like some of the fan base or NBA people like are overhyping Wembanyama, or think he's gonna live out to what he's gonna be? I mean, obviously he's the number one draft pick. So I mean, Zion was the number one draft pick, and he's hurt, and But I'm not comparing, but I'm saying they were the number one picks. We all thought Zion was gonna be the next LeBron James, jumping out of the gym, blocking people like crazy.
Yeah, because people wanted to overlook his condition in terms of body composition. You never heard anybody talk about, he needs to slim down a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
That seems like that's part of his issue with staying on the floor. But we saw him do it at Duke, and that was, I think he missed some games at Duke as well. But I get it with some players because you're looking at the NBA and the differences between the college game and the NBA game are such that you're basically drafting off of potential for the most part, because a lot of the guys you're drafting play 1 year, maybe 2 years in college. So they haven't fully developed. They are still really young, and you just never know how the NBA, schedule, which is much longer than a college schedule, you just don't know how that affects players early on in their career. So I understand where overhyping is just going to be part of the business.
Yeah.
But for some of these guys, it's just like, we can let it play out a little bit. Like for Bronny to not even be in college and we're already talking about him being drafted is crazy to me. I could see if you're doing this halfway through the USC season, he's putting up numbers or whatever, and you're like, okay, that translates well. But we're doing it because he's LeBron's son. He played at Sierra Canyon, an AAU team, and all of a sudden he's this like great prospect for whatever reason. That's the part I don't get at all. And I mean, Wembanyama, like he played against, legitimate athletes in a professional league. I think that's a little bit different. I think the only questions for Wembanyama would be being 7 foot, like he's kind of a slender body. That would be the only concern.
Yeah,
because guys at that height is a concern.
We've all seen what happened with Chet. I mean, I think he played against him in the Drew League, and I think it was a play against LeBron. Actually, it wasn't LeBron's fault. It was just I think Chet was backing up,
sabotaging another young player. That's all it was.
But no, I think it was. I think it was it wasn't Bron's fault. I think it was just Chet was trying to post up and whatever. And but yeah, that's what I'm not worried about Victor's like skill set. I'm just worried about just like his lower body. Is like because he looks kind of like he needs to hit the gym in that area. But I believe because I don't want to. Because I don't want him to
Durant too.
But listen, but I don't want to. I don't want him ending up like Chet. Being a high draft pick, getting hurt playing. That's why I think he made a smart move by not playing for France in like the FIBA World Cup, because like What if he does get injured? Or what if he does get hurt? Then
injuries are gonna happen though.
Whether
he played for France or not, I wouldn't really care either way. But
that's just
but
like
Chet, if Chet comes back next year and wins Rookie of the Year, who's going to really care about the foot injury if he shows that it's not really affecting him?
It sucks that it happened. Like high draft pick gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to see him the whole year. But I am excited to see Chet though in Thunder. But I'm gonna catch him on the comments real quick.
Austin has some.
Jermaine,
has a good comment.
Well, we gotta get back to Joshua's question about Murray, but so many different topics.
Superstar.
Hell no, psych. Actually, I want to hear cool because he's a Nuggets fan. If you're still watching, I want to hear is Jamal Murray your point guard? Is he a superstar?
I gotta think now, because to me, superstar, you got to be like top. Maybe top. Well, okay, because superstar gets thrown around so much.
All right, well, let me ask Joshua this: like, what do you mean by superstar, man? Like, do you mean like?
No, I know what he means. It's just I got to kind of come up with a parameter in my mind of what's a superstar. I would say he's a budding superstar because for me, I have superstar. I got stars. He's definitely a star in the league. Superstar, probably not yet, but if he gives me another year like last year, they don't have to like win the title or necessarily for me to make him a superstar.
He's a very, very tough critic, man. So
no, I think he's a star in the league.
Oh no, sure. Yeah, I know. I'm just.
But I also think we were robbed of a couple of years with the knee injury, where I think he was definitely trending towards superstardom. So I think next year, another really good year away from the injury, then I could see him as a superstar.
Yeah, I agree with Cole. I think he's not quite there yet, but he's making a strong argument.
That's where I'm.
Superstars are top 10. Yeah, Jamal Murray I don't think he's a top 10 player just yet. Because Jasper just said my superstars are top 10 players.
See, that's what I was trying to think of as 10, maybe 15, that area. Because top 10, then you have to weed out a lot of other people who they call superstars as well.
I mean, Kyle, we have time, man. You want to go over top 10 players, man, superstars? I'll go first. Oh, in the current league.
I gotta think about it.
I'll go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I think I can make this work.
And then we'll catch up with the comments later, like after that. So,
good Lord. It might be easier to knock out people who people call superstars than to actually come up with a list.
So, number one, I had Jason Tatum for number one.
Okay.
Two, I have that's hard.
So, okay. So, I think the easiest way to go about this is obvious superstars.
Yeah,
Giannis, Jokic.
Yeah, see, I couldn't get Giannis. So, all right. So, I had Tatum, Giannis. No, you know what? Since Jokic won the championship, I got Joker. I got Joker number one. Two, Tatum.
Yeah, you want us to put it in order too? Okay, let's go.
Oh yeah, I thought about that. Joker is on top, so
I gotta write this down. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. So can you write mine write mine down too as we go along, so I'll remember. So I don't bullshit you the next time. I'm like, oh, I didn't put it.
I got you.
I'll put LeBron number one, right? All right. So top 10. So number one, I got Tatum. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I got Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got two, Tatum, your boy Tatum. I got three, Giannis. I got four. Man. Four, I got.
So I'll throw names at you to help you out.
No, I got Embiid number 4.
Okay.
5, I have. Without the freaking drama, John Morant number 5.
Okay.
6, I have Curry.
Okay.
7, I have Durant.
Okay.
8, I have Brown. Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
I know you don't like. I see your face, man. You're like, oh
shit. No, I'm just looking over your list.
9, Butler.
Okay.
And then 10.
The chat's giving you a name you missed.
Luka.
You haven't mentioned Luka.
Damn. I was like, wow. I mean, Brown. So is this our top 10 like superstars? Or is this our top 10 current NBA right now? Because
I mean, this is your list. I assume you were doing top 10, which to go with Joshua would be this is your superstar list because he said top 10 players are superstars.
Yeah. So I put Luka. I put Luka at 10, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I said Embiid. He's number 4.
Yeah. So you have Joker, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid, Ja, Curry, KD, Jalen Brown,
You know what?
Butler.
You know what? I'm gonna switch out Ja for Luka. Put him at number because he missed those games.
You have your 10. I mean, however you rank them, I think it'd be.
Oh no, because I mean, I was gonna say just no drama aside. So I'll put Luka number whatever Ja was at.
Okay.
Yeah. So chat, I put Luka. I mean, I put Embiid number. All right, so read my list again. So
you have Joker number Giannis. 1. I mean, Joker, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, Luka, Curry, KD, Jalen Brown, Butler, Ja Morant. So looking at that list, these would be your superstars. I would have 2, maybe 3 issues with the list.
I know Ja, right?
I don't think Jalen Brown is a superstar yet.
See, I was gonna say Dame, man.
I have questions about Dame as well, but if you wanted to make that argument, I could see Butler. I go back and forth with Butler all the time. I've come to the point where
I feel like Butler.
I don't know if Butler is a superstar.
I feel like without Miami Heat or without Butler, Miami there would be nothing.
Austin, my guy. You left out SGA. I think SGA is absolutely a superstar in this league.
See, I forgot SGA, man. I forgot him.
You don't know. Well, I guess I'll see what you think about this player. Devin Booker. Do you think he's a superstar?
He's like what you talked about Murray being. He's like a what do you say? Like a what was that term?
Murray's is a star budding on superstar.
Yeah, budding on superstar. Yeah, that's so yeah.
Okay.
Damn. You know what? I forgot about SGA. Can I put SGA instead of Brown? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
I totally forgot about that.
Austin is a certified Devin Booker hater. Hey. There is room on this podcast for all types of haters. We're good. So you have no Jalen, you want SGA. Okay.
So Jalen and Murray, they're on that like outside looking in. Which is fair. I feel like Brown needs to have. I know it's going to be hard because Tatum is at the nucleus of that team. So Brown, I don't think Brown can be a superstar on the Celtics, man.
Yes, he can.
Let's
stop that narrative. Yes, he can. You're telling me if Jalen Brown doesn't make All NBA again next year?
No, but I'm saying that like with Tatum taking all like the limelight, you know what I'm saying?
Jalen Brown just may not be a number one. But he can still be a superstar.
I feel like Brown can be like Tatum's Robin.
Okay.
And so I guess that's fair to say he can be a superstar, but I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like he'll be.
So for a lot of the people who want like Jalen Brown to go to his own team, become his own whatever, remember this: it's different playing off of the guy and becoming the guy. A lot of people, talk about Jalen Brown's handles. Imagine if he's your number one clear-cut option and he has those turnovers. What does that do to your team? So that's why I'm like, Jalen Brown could become a superstar, and he definitely can do that on the Celtics because, as Austin just put in there, Tatum gets all the attention, but Jalen Brown is a major contributor. It's just that some of the responsibilities that may be Jalen Brown's weakness and Tatum's strength is why I don't get where all these people are like, you got to split them up. They work well together. They just have to make sure around them they have, a point guard who, if they're sticking around the perimeter a little bit too much, can tell them, no, get down on the block or move over here or something. That's where I think If the Celtics could find that guy, I think they are a championship team. I think that's the one area where if Brad Stevens could find improvement, I would be down for it. Maybe it's Derek White, and now that you give him the opportunity, he becomes that, but I don't know. But those two definitely can be superstars side by side. Superstars side by side. Because Austin, Tatum gets the most attention. They have too much overlap at this point, not enough playmaking between Brown and Tatum. Which is why I said if they got a, what would be great for Tatum and Brown? Rondo when he was with KG, Pierce, Allen. Rondo's a guy who would do nothing, who loved having like a 20 assist game, was a quarterback of the offense. If they could find a guy like that, I think Tatum and Brown would be better off for it. I'd have to look around at free agents and all that to see who that player might be, but that's what I want to see Brad Stevens do next. All right, so looking at your list again, I feel like there's another question I may have about it.
Whether or not a question about anything I do or say.
No, I mean, look.
No, I mean, it's not a bad list.
The Butler one, I don't think Butler's a superstar. I'm trying to think who you're missing because, the chat brought up Dame. See, my thing with Dame is I don't know. Especially since I said I don't know if Dame.
I mean, I was gonna put LeBron on my list, but they're gonna be, oh, you're a homer. I mean, I wasn't gonna put him on my list.
You're not a homer depending where you put LeBron. Like if you put LeBron 1, I'd be like, you're a homer.
Because if that was the case, I'd put LeBron where Butler is.
Okay, if you did that, I wouldn't say you're a homer then.
Then he erased the Butler.
That seems.
Because I wasn't nervous, but I was kind of like iffy about putting LeBron on the list because I know like.
What you nervous about? It's your list. You guys stick with it and be able to defend it.
I know. Oh,
yeah,
I mean, if you know me,
if you have LeBron like
I'll defend my
10
list.
area, I feel like you're paying attention.
So Jory said Lakers wave Mo Bamba, so we're making moves.
That's not a move. He didn't do anything.
Mo Bamba to the Celtics, man.
Look, Celtics fans, I'm gonna say this. I've seen the past couple of days, they're all like, "Oh, Bol," because they had Bol for like 5 minutes. Oh, we missed out. I could already see it. If Mo Bamba's sitting out there, man, people are gonna be fascinated with who Mo Bamba should be.
I mean, not
as
Mo
opposed
Bamba,
to who he is, and they're gonna be calling for it.
I'm sorry, I meant Bol, not Mo Bamba.
Bol was another guy who has he lived up to the hype yet? No. Can he get there?
He's still young.
Sure. Yeah.
Still young.
Austin said, "Let's hear my top 10."
So the chat's waiting for your list, man. You're taking too long, man.
I was analyzing your list.
All right,
I mean, the 10 players you have as superstars, I would probably go with the same 10. I would reorder it. I would say Joker 1. I would still have Giannis 2. You had Giannis 3. That's not that big of a difference.
Well, I had Tatum 2, right? I had
yes.
Tatum 2, yeah.
Of course, between Giannis and Tatum, 2, 3 doesn't matter. But I would have Giannis ahead of Tatum. 10, so I'd have Giannis 2. I'd go Tatum 3. Embiid at 4 seems a little high because if you're gonna be number 4 in the league, your playoff resume has to look much better than it does. But also looking at it, who would I put ahead of Embiid?
That's interesting.
I would say Embiid is probably a top 5 player. I feel like me saying that might make it seem like I wouldn't have him as a superstar. He is a superstar.
He was MVP.
He cried for it enough, and he finally got it. Congratulations. And what'd you do with it? You got bounced in the second round by the Celtics.
He got bounced in a caramel cookie.
Yep.
And I ain't gonna lie. I'm not so bad about caramel cookie. Caramel cookie is mad good though.
I never had it. I've heard it's pretty good.
Oh man, I mean, I would
More
get
about
the
Embiid though.
Red Velvet one.
That Game 7 against Boston rubbed me the wrong way about Embiid. He looked like he wanted no part of that game and completely checked out. Not what I want to see from a superstar level player. But I'll keep him in the top 5. I might move him to 5. At 4, I would probably put KD at 4. I'd put Embiid at 5. I think Curry at 6 is a. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I might go KD 4, Curry 5, and Embiid 6. I'd say Luka 7. I'd go. I might go LeBron 8, SGA 9.
Lucky Kyle.
I was gonna leave LeBron out. Look, as much as people call me a LeBron hater, the problem is I'm too real for the LeBron apologist. That's the problem. But yeah, I'd have LeBron 8. I'd go SGA 9. Even Ja at 10. That's questionable to me.
Cool. I feel like you agree with everything Kyle says, man.
Hey, man.
I agree, Kyle.
Cool knows his sports.
I know.
He recognizes. I was just kidding. I feel like I could come up with somebody for 10 over Ja.
Dame Lillard, man. So are you saying Ja because it's like his off-court shenanigans, or like are you thinking it's him as a player?
I think Ja's game. I need more consistent from the perimeter. I think he got a little bit better at it because last season.
We're analyzing just like play on the court, not just like
obviously, okay. Yeah.
But it's hard. That's hard to freaking do because he's always off the court for suspensions. But
that's something he's working on. He's still young.
I don't know if that's being for real or sarcastic.
We'll leave that up to the viewers. No, it was a little sarcastic because Ja's been in the league long enough to know.
Cool.
Gone on IG Live.
I feel like Kyle smart. Me too. There you go again.
Yeah, see?
Cool. I'm messing with you, man.
Kawhi.
Wait, cool. How are you? Wait, cool. How are you?
Guy.
How are you a Denver Nuggets? Well, I can't be going after people, but I mean, how are you a Denver Nuggets fan, Philadelphia fan? Who's your?
Yeah, you the wrong one to ask that question.
Okay, that's how I kind of pause, but
yeah. Which I mean, to go with that, I saw a clip of Jazzy Jeff talking about it. He said he can't understand how you don't root for all your hometown teams. I think I've kind of come down off of that a little bit. It kind of depends on who your teams are. That's why I think Gene gets on you a lot, because the teams you picked are literally all of like the cherry picked teams outside of the Ravens, which he gives you credit for. But like for Cool, being a Nuggets fan, Philly fan, I don't think those are like your bandwagon type ones that you would just point to. So I think even for him, it's a little different because I know Cool's like in the Charlotte area.
Yeah. Which
I guess you would say, oh, why aren't you a Panthers fan or Hornets or something like that? That's neither here nor there. So, it's one thing like if you're in an area with professional teams, but you're like, no, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Lakers fan. And you just pick all of the great brands. That's where the problem is. So, I don't think Cool needs to explain it unless he wants to. But, I mean, only because I don't want to waste too much time. I'll leave Ja at 10. I just can't think of anybody else I would put ahead of him right now.
Some more. So yeah, Bronny. I don't know who. I can't see the comments. I don't know if
that was Austin who put that in.
Okay, Austin said yeah. So I was right. Isaiah Collier, number 1 point prospect in the WSC. According to Kyle, he don't give two shits about him being a number 1 player in the nation.
Show me at USC. I do not have time to be, drooling over somebody at an AAU squad. Now that you've broken up, you're at your college now. Let me see it. So if he's as good as people have rated up to be, USC should be pretty good next year. Let's see it. Because I do watch Pac-12 basketball.
I think this was Austin's comment too, right? Or that was Joshua. I can't see the
guards are just so stacked. I got to go back to where that comment was. Yeah, that's Austin.
I'm just going back to the comments. Guards are just so stacked in this league. Murray almost has to make All-Star next year, right? But who does he bump down?
I mean, look, the All-Star game, one, I don't understand why it's limited to 12. I think it's stupid. It's an All-Star game. Bump it out to 15. Go to 20. I don't care. Make it 15 probably. It will depend. If Murray gets blocked out for an All-Star only because two other guys had really good years and it was kind of splitting hairs, I'm not going to hold him not making an All-Star team over him. But I would like to say, being a champion, yeah, I think he should be an All-Star next year.
What's going on, Mel? How you doing, my brother?
I mean, Joshua had a question for us. De'Aaron Fox, is he a borderline superstar?
I think he's outside the top 10, maybe 15, 20 range. I'd say he's
I'd have him on the lower side, closer to 20 probably.
I have him on the upper side, maybe 14, 15. Okay. Maybe on the outside of the 15, 20 range. So I think Austin said he's a Cowboys fan because my grandpa raised me right.
America's also from Texas. So
all right,
it's fine.
Homegrown.
Unless you're in Texans country, you just refuse to root for them. But yeah, if you're in Texas, if you choose Texans or Cowboys, I don't care.
See. I think Austin had to cover himself because he's like, oh, also from Texas. All right.
I mean, technically, yeah. He just left it with his grandpa raised him right. That's why he's a Cowboys fan. Then, yeah.
Yeah.
That opens yourself.
All right, Austin, you're off the hook, man. You're off the hook, man. But America's football team, man, where have y'all been, man?
They're not America's team.
I think the Ravens are.
All right. Talk about another franchise that hasn't done anything in a while.
Hey man, last time Steelers or Cowboys won a ring was with Emmitt Smith, man. So last time we won one with Joe Flacco, I was like, what, 10 years ago? 9 years ago?
That was only 10 years ago? Seemed like so long ago.
So Joshua said I'm from the Bay Area.
And a Packers fan. That's an interesting combination.
I'm a Bay Area fan and a Packers. Oh, man. So Austin said, nah, I am from almost smack dab between Dallas and Houston. So just a little closer to Dallas.
That's fine.
All right, yeah.
That's fine.
That's fair. Have you been to any games, Dallas games, Austin? I do want to go to that stadium. I heard it's nice.
What, Jerry World?
Jerry World.
I mean, any new stadium should be nice. Let's be honest.
Well, Madden it looks nice.
The Kraken Stadium in Seattle looks pretty cool too, because it's new. But it does. It's like
it looks nice.
It has like a zero carbon footprint and all this kind of stuff. It's all like I don't know. It just looks nice. I'll say that. I mean, if he came up with a new stadium now and it looks like trash, then I don't know what you got going on.
Austin, he said he moved to Arlington for college and lived 2 miles from the stadium for 2. Wow, that's pretty lit, man. That's awesome. So you being a Dallas fan, Cowboys fan, where do you want to see your boy Ezekiel Elliott go since he's a free agent? Or do you want him back on the Cowboys? Or
I could probably answer that for Cowboys fans. The Zeke Elliott experiment has been run to the ground. Move on. Pollard, they should I'm kind of surprised that he's talking Ezekiel
Elliott.
Elliott. Would you want him back?
Appreciate that, Josh.
I I still find it interesting that the Cowboys aren't in on Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't made a push for him. Oh, okay. So Austin's gonna give him some love, man. All right. So that means would you want him back on the team, or do you think he, like, as a Cowboys fan, where do you want to see him land? You know, where do you want to?
It would depend on the price tag. Cause that's literally the only.
That is a Jerry move though. Dalvin Cook signing out.
It seems too perfect. I don't know why it hasn't happened. I mean, one could argue DeAndre Hopkins would be a Jerry move too.
Yeah.
I mean, so if I'm Ezekiel Elliott, where would I go?
To the Patriots.
You know what Ezekiel Elliott should want to be right now? Jerome Bettis. When Jerome Bettis got on in his career, he became kind of like a short yardage, goal line, red zone type of back. That's what he probably has to be at this point. Where does that fit? That's another question.
That's crazy, Kyle, because I have to find another player because I had Jerome Bettis as one of my guess the NFL players. So I gotta reroute my
Hey man, you ain't stumping me.
I did last week though.
I mean, you pick some random dudes.
No, I picked
Champ Bailey. Offensive lineman. Look, the Champ Bailey one. The Champ Bailey one was the one I still can't believe I missed.
Which one? I'm trying. If I had it saved,
Mo, that's actually not a bad spot. I could see Zeke in Kansas City. They got Pacheco already, who's like a quick, shifty back. If you mix that up with a Zeke who short yardage guy, I could see that. That would be a Kansas City type of move. If you're in as a contender, trying to just, shore up little areas of your team, I think Zeke can. Yeah, that's actually a good spot for Mo.
I think another like sneaky spot for Ezekiel would be Chicago. I mean, they have all the money. They have tons of cap space with Justin Fields. Playing with that team with a receiver and DJ Moore. That's another landing spot. I mean, you're in an open conference division or open division with Chicago, Packers, Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who's the fourth team in that? Detroit? I mean, I'm sorry.
You got Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that's another sleeper team, man. Where he goes. But I definitely see, like we both said, that looks like a Jerry move for the Cowboys. I'm sorry. Not to get Zeke. I mean, Dalvin to get Dalvin, yeah. But yeah. I mean, I see Zeke either going to Chicago or I'm surprised Johnson haven't rung his phone just in case like Saquon Barkley, it's a fallout plan, like a fallback plan. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna be.
Giants got on that beat to throw it in the Cowboys' face.
Yeah. But
that's interesting.
Let's see. Well, I did have. Is there any other NBA news we could talk about before we go to? Maybe you can.
I mean, the only thing was, I think right before we came on, I saw that the Celtics extended a qualifying offer to Grant Williams because he's now a guy that people are wondering if he can fit in Boston now with the Porzingis deal. I think it's all going to come down to what he wants money-wise. Because if he were to sign the qualifying offer, he'd get like $8 million next year, which I guess he could do if he thinks there's a bigger payday next year. Maybe. I don't know. But Oh, Pigeon Patrol. Will Damian Lillard and the Blazers finally break up?
I feel like we just talked about this earlier. That's all right. I'll go back and talk about it. Hey, what's up, Pigeon Pin? Thanks for tuning into the show. So the question, yeah. So would Dame? So let me go back to the question. Will Dame Lillard and the Blazers finally break up? Before I answer, what do you think?
He said he could ask a different question.
Oh no, I mean I don't mind since you didn't.
I mean, you can, because I'll give you a quick answer. I think this is all smoke. I think he stays in Portland, and we get a whole year of, Stephen A, Perk, and all them like, oh, Portland's got to get Lillard up out of there. I think he ends up staying.
I think the only team, if they were to break up, is now since Miami Heat said they don't, or now since the Portland said they don't like Hero. The only team I see that's out there is Miami Heat. Maybe him pairing up with Dave or with Butler. I don't know. I think I don't know about you, Pigeon, but I think that this whole back and forth is annoying to me. I get that Dame wants to
I don't even know it's back and forth though. If
no,
Portland,
I'm saying
like if Portland isn't interested in Hero, Miami has no shot at getting Dame. What else are you giving up that Portland would want over Hero, who's probably outside of Butler and Bam? Hero's probably the third best player, and if that's not good enough to Portland, you might have to move on, Miami.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Pigeon Patrol. Do you think they're gonna break up, or what do you think? What's your thoughts on that? And then we'll get to your second question about that's another good question about Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what do you think? You think Dame was gonna break up with Blazers, or what do you think? Mo said Dame stays and Dame watch continue season 4.
Yeah.
I think
Dame painted himself in a corner with the whole "I'm not ring chasing" stuff. And plus, we have seen great players play their whole career somewhere and not win. Doesn't hurt their stance as a great player. Reggie Miller, one of the greatest shooters to ever live. He was in Indiana his whole time. Never won a title. Only difference is, at least for Reggie Miller, he made it to the finals once. Dame hasn't gotten that far.
So Pigeon Patrol's answer: neither Lillard nor the Blazers want to be the ones to initiate the process. I think that Dame is kind of like he doesn't want to cause commotion in the locker room. That's why he doesn't want to say his thoughts out loud.
He doesn't want the public turning on him. He wants to be the good guy, the nice guy. He's Dame, man.
That's
Dame
true.
Dollar. Yeah, that's all it is. He doesn't want to be painted negatively.
Was this Austin? Rings matter, but are very overrated.
Yes, that's Austin.
Awesome. So Cypher said Simons gets moved. I don't know, man. So many pieces.
I get where Mo's coming from. If you keep Lillard around, some change has to be made of the roster.
Wait, Pedro, where you where you streaming from, man? Where you are you in the States?
Oh, it's not Control in the chat. What's going on, Control? King's about to steal away Drake. To be honest with you,
I was gonna ask, what are your teams, man? If you're in the States, if you're watching in the States, sir.
Oh yeah, you can drop that. Did I? Yo, Control. Okay, look. You see Control's comment. Did he walk in on me hating on Dame? Here is my thing on Dame.
Houston, Texas.
Because we just gave our Control. Do you think Dame is a superstar? Let's start there. And for us, we said superstar had to be top 10 player in the league. That's kind of where this all started with, because I said that Dame can't be the best player on a championship winning team because of that, I don't have him as a superstar in the league, which means I kept him out of my top 10 list for NBA players in the league. I think he's in that next group, like 11 to 15 or whatever. I guess if you call that hating, then yes, you walked into me hating on Dame. I don't think that's hating. He's a good player. It's just, I think the Miami move would have made so much sense because Butler's your clear number one. Dame would be like your 1B. Those moments where, Butler goes into neutral and doesn't score, Lillard would be a great player in that situation because, he would pick up the slack until Butler feels like, oh, let me switch it back on again. Oh, Control answered. When healthy, yes, I think he's a superstar, but right now he's on the fringe.
Cachel's funny as hell, man.
I mean, technically you agree with me because you say he's on the fringe. I said the same thing. So I'm not hating.
So are we talking about Dame being a superstar?
Yeah, because I asked Control that since he said I was hating on Dame, and we have the same view. He's on the fringe.
So, like, when you say the fringe, is he like...
That's like the 11 to 15 area.
Okay.
At least to me, that's fringe. I mean, then like 15 to 20. I don't even know what I would label that, but that's whatever. Neither here nor there.
Yeah. So...
Well, I think it's a Pigeon's second question because he has a third question in there now. Don't want to get too far behind on his.
We should get the second one, Sacramento
Draymond. I think that'd be a really good fit.
I didn't really hear that, though, that much. Like,
I heard
like one report.
I've heard the Kings are interested. Which, if you think about it, if they lose Harrison Barnes, he was a veteran leader. You bring in Draymond, he automatically becomes your vocal leader. I don't think Sabonis is much of a talker. I don't think De'Aaron Fox is much of a talker. And Sabonis, a front court with Sabonis and Draymond Green, interesting. I would want to see how those two would work. But I don't hate it for Sacramento.
Put the question up real quick.
I still think that somehow Draymond ends up back at Golden State.
Yeah, I think when it's all said and done, unless he ends up in Portland because he had a meeting with them, I think yesterday. I think Draymond ends up back in the Warriors for one more year. But that's just if anything astronomical happens tomorrow at 6 p.m. tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy. So yeah, Pigeon, keep on coming with the questions, man. From Houston, Texas, man. Before we go on to the next question, I thank everyone for tuning in. If you're on Twitch, definitely subscribe to your boy Big J on YouTube, and I'm on Twitch too, like Pigeon's on Twitch. So definitely subscribe to the channel. So I'll definitely, me and Kyle will definitely be on. I love the questions. I love the topics.
I would say you can find me.
At the
bit.
YouTube. Not playing. I'm playing. Bro.
Twitch. I'm at Kaiser Gamer 84. I'll just throw that in there.
Yeah, definitely, and also like Cypher. I think Mo's on YouTube, so definitely subscribe to me on YouTube. So yeah, I'm trying to build a cool and lit sports community. So I think Pigeon is a new subscriber or viewer, so I appreciate that. That means I'm reaching out to people. So yeah, but that being said, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And then we see Cottrell.
I can answer Cottrell's question. What are the Lakers getting for agency? They're gonna get everybody. They're gonna get Dame. They're getting Draymond. They're gonna get Buddy Hield. They're getting Miles Turner. They're getting all that. There we go. I answered that question.
Yes, sir, Mo. I think LA. So they just declined Mo, and I think they declined Malik Beasley's contract. So I think the first move or the first priority is to somehow keep Austin Reeves and Hachimura. I think that they need to. I mean, I saw a report they do want to keep Russell, but we'll see if that
I feel like they can
That's
do
true.
better there.
Yes, I mean, but like we said on other shows, like the market's kind of like it's not as like eye popping as it is as it used to be. For like point guards, I know there's like it's kind of scarce.
Well, that's the question that Cottrell's asking me about the Celtics, and I have an interesting name that has been on my mind for the past couple of days. Don't know how it happens, but then go ahead with LA.
Oh wait, for me?
Yeah, because he asked you about LA first.
Oh, I mean,
I
I
know you
just said that
said
the first big part
Hachimura,
is and
Reeves.
that's the first like priority.
Mm-hmm. So if they were to,
I mean, I think we picked up Vanderbilt's option, so he's gonna probably be back.
But you said you'd rather they move on from Russell. So who would be the point guard in your eyes that you would see running this Lakers team?
Well, I don't know. What are the options though? Like, what are the point guards out there though? I was gonna do a trade.
I could pull it up for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a name for a trade, throw it out there and see what you would give up for him. We'll say that.
Dame Dollar Sign, baby.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, he was last year in like the Lakers talk, but
so what would you give up for Dame Lillard? That's the other question you have to ask.
I don't know. Well, I mean, would Portland want to rebuild with Scoot Henderson and D'Angelo Russell? D'Lo, Mo Bamba,
hanging up.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what the Lakers do. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they do, how they go about things in free agency.
So I can give you some point guards here.
Yeah, I'm playing about Dame, but I know last year was kind of like that was in the conversation.
Okay, so here's your point guard list.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, it's kind of scarce, man. No.
Kyrie Irving, Fred VanVleet, who looks like he's about to get a bag from Houston, D'Angelo Russell, Patrick Beverley, Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder.
Well, I do want to bring back D'Angelo Russell for be like the backup point guard. I feel like he serves.
So you're bringing back Schroeder too?
So I'm bringing back him as a point guard, as a backup point guard.
Russell or Schroeder?
So I did get the NBA Central thing that they do have their eye on some veteran point guards. As we speak, let me see.
But yeah, I was just trying to clarify. You want Russell as your backup, or are we talking about Schroeder?
No, I want Russell off the team. I want Russell off the team.
All right, so
but
Schroeder's
your Schroeder as my backup.
So you got to have a starting point.
So the Los Angeles Lakers want to re-sign Schroeder, but also have other point guards on their radar, including Javon Carter, Shaq Milton, Corey Joseph,
backup.
League source. Probably, well, they're under like they're veterans, but I do want to keep Lonnie Walker. But he's a shooter or a small forward.
Yeah.
So Carter, he's nice. He's 27. He played a big role in Milwaukee Bucks.
He's a backup. If you have Schroeder and Carter, then Schroeder's your starting point guard.
Well, I'm just saying the article that I
I'm just saying I get it. Javon Carter, yeah, he's the backup. I'm talking about for you with your Lakers squad, who's running point guard opening night starting lineup? Who is it?
I don't know, man. Eric Gordon.
I keep going down the list. Gabe Vincent, Trey Jones, Ayo Dosunmu.
Wait, isn't Trey Jones
Jackson.
Isn't he on Washington with
who?
Trey Jones.
No, he's the guy from San Antonio.
Yeah, I thought he got shipped to Washington with Poole. Or was that the other? Was that Tyus Jones?
Yeah, that's Tyus Jones.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask Mo if Mo's in here, man, because he's Laker fan. Maybe he can help me out. Who do you want as our point guard week one going into week one? Cause I'm having a struggle for one point guard, man, for a starting point guard.
Reggie Jackson, Kobe White.
I say Kyrie, but
Dennis Smith Jr. Let's see. Oh, so Austin said, "Hey guys, before I hop off, first time tuning in, fairly new to the group. Y'all got a solid show going on. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Austin. Definitely, you're definitely a big contributor in the chat, man. So, I mean, obviously, LeBron as usual.
You want a reunion with Kendrick Nunn? You want Corey Joseph?
Hell no.
You want Ish Smith, TJ Augustine, who, to be honest with you, I forgot was still in the league up until like halfway through last season.
So Justin, James Harden is opting into his $35.6 million deal for next season. He's opting in. In order for the 10-time All-Star and the 76ers to work together on a trade out of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Hey, the Sixers doing something smart. Good for them. Although, I don't know if you saw Wire to Wire last night, but Shally almost lost his mind when they said that they're going to bring back James Harden on a new deal. So at least he could breathe now if he's opting in so they could trade him.
So most at any point guard you add or we add has to be able to shoot because Bron is the default point guard. I mean, that's true. Yeah, the market right now is from what you're reading is kind of.
There's some interesting names.
Maybe Reggie Jackson.
I mean, he kind of fits what Mo said. He's a guy who can shoot.
Who can shoot.
Here's an interesting name. Michael Carter Williams is a free agent point guard.
Was he?
I think injuries have kind of hurt him. But
didn't he play like on like the Magic and like the Bulls?
Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys that Philly also drafted throughout their process years, and yeah. He's been in the league 10 years. That's okay. Matthew Dellavedova. Okay. Goran Dragic probably should retire. George Hill, you can retire. Yeah. This free agent list is weak.
So the
Derrick Rose.
Yes. Maybe at one last ride in LA.
Yeah, but he would be a backup as well. Oh, because he doesn't fit Mo's criteria. He's not necessarily a shooter. I will say he's gotten better over the course of his career, but yeah.
So I'm pretty sure unless we find a gem, I feel like we have to do a trade. 3-team trade maybe, or I don't know.
Okay, so for me, looking from the perspective of trading with the Lakers, the pieces I would want.
I do want to bring my
I would want Austin Reeves.
Yeah, but as a Laker fan,
no,
right?
If I'm trading with the Lakers, I'm asking for Austin Reeves then.
No, you're not getting them. Sorry.
Then you're not getting your point guard.
See, that's hard, man. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I guess, just because Catrell asked me about the Celtics, there's a name I was thinking of. He's not a free agent, though, which kind of may hurt my case of getting him. For some reason, when I look at the Celtics team, I feel like Ricky Rubio would be a really good point guard for them. Don't know why, but that's just the name that has popped up.
I just heard
the past couple of days.
I heard that the Clippers are interested in Harden. Now it's Houston, then it's Clippers. Now it's going to be LA Lakers. Like, come on, like.
What?
Well, I'm just saying, like.
What are the Clippers trading for James Harden?
I follow NBA Central, so I have them. I have the post notifications on, so I get every tweet they have. So. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, Austin, you're still here, man. Rubio, very underrated. Still working his way back.
That's what I said. I think Rubio for the Celtics.
I thought Rubio for the
Conley, yes. Conley was another name that popped in my head. I think one of those two, Boston has to find a way to get one of those guys. I think you do that. Now we're talking in Boston. I guess out of the two, I'd probably say Conley 1, Rubio 2, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I take Rubio too on the Lakers. I mean, he can shoot.
You're not getting him though, because I'm getting him from Boston or Mike Conley.
Yeah, me, I can have Mike Conley, man.
I guarantee you, if Conley signed with the Lakers, you would love it.
I felt like Conley should have been an All-Star, like at least once.
And as he said, yes, Mike is a better shooter. Rubio's a better defender.
Yeah.
And actually, as a Lakers fan, I mean, for Lakers fans like you, if they signed Mike Conley, or they acquired Mike Conley, I would say that's a really good move for the Lakers.
I think he did make it a few years ago, All-Star, but I think he should have been like one like early in his career.
Yeah, but Austin kind of said it, like the guard position is really stacked. So it was going to be hard, for him to do that. Okay, so our group chat's talking about some moves that are apparently about to happen.
Oh shit!
Oh no, okay. I guess they're just
I
throwing
thought
out
it was
random
the Harden,
stuff.
right?
No, because I saw something pop about like DeMar to Portland. And I was like, what? What are we talking about here? But that was just, yeah, that's nothing. But I mean, Harden opted in so Philly can trade him. That's now going to be something that everybody's going to be looking at to see where do they trade him to, and what do they get for him. So that's interesting.
So what AJ Wojnarowski said, the Clippers and Knicks are expected to be among the teams that will engage with Sixers on the James Harden trade.
The Clippers and Knicks.
Oh man, this is about to get messy, man.
Could you imagine James Harden dealing with that New York media?
Oh man, he'll be out in 1 year.
Well,
but then again,
hear me out.
But then again, New York
fans
might
love to hold on to hope, and they'll feel like if they get Harden, they'll finally be getting that big name they've been chasing for so many years in free agency.
Clippers and
I
feel like they're gonna keep Russell, so maybe Russell and Harden again. I don't know, and Kawhi, but they're gonna have to. I feel like they're gonna have to trade one of them, PG or Kawhi, man, or maybe keep them both. I don't know.
Okay, so if that happened, you imagine Embiid had to deal with all of the Ben Simmons stuff, and then here comes Kawhi through the door.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't know what they're gonna have to give up for Harden. They can't keep all. They can't keep Russell, Paul, Kawhi, and then get Harden.
I think it's kind of like you said. Wouldn't they have to trade Kawhi PG at that point?
Oh yeah, I thought okay.
But I'd rather have Kawhi or PG than Harden necessarily.
So I think as we get closer to the 6 p.m. deadline, I feel like more teams are going to be popping up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if LA is in there, man. I wouldn't be surprised for real. Like all these teams popping up, Knicks, Clippers.
For who? Oh, trading?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think LA would be more in free agency, not necessarily trades. Because so if the Lakers, didn't re-sign Reeves or didn't re-sign Hachimura, and you don't want to trade those guys, who on LA are you trading that gets you anything of value, other than I guess LeBron? I know a lot of Lakers fans will be like, we could just trade AD. What would AD get you on the open market?
So that's a good question.
And you're kind of seeing how these trades are starting to go with the second apron. A lot of these trades are getting done with a bunch of second-round picks, which will become more valuable, obviously, in the next few years. But I don't know what AD would get as a 30-year-old with questions about his health and all that. I don't know if you'd get that big, rotation piece that you would hope to for him. And then would LA trade LeBron? I mean, I know Gene put out there on Wire to Wire about LeBron getting traded back to Cleveland for something around Garland.
So, I
don't know if
I
LA
think
would do that.
NBA Central released an article about like potential, trade, free agency trade. So I think it's updated. Bradley Beal to the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have been vocal about their desire to add another superstar, or a star. Sorry, to the core of Steph, Curry, Clay, and Draymond. Bradley Beal has been a subject of trade rumors. Could be an ideal fit. The Warriors possess a collection of young talent and future draft assets that could entice the Washington Wizards into a trade. Number two,
but isn't that interesting though? That they traded Poole to Washington, but they did it after Beal was gone.
Right.
If Golden State had picked up the phone earlier, could they have swung Beal for a package around Jordan Poole?
That's a good question. So number two, they have CJ McCollum going to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay.
Three, they have Buddy Hield to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Must be a Lakers fan writing that article.
Well, then they had DeJounte Murray to the New York Knicks.
Atlanta would be stupid to give up on him, but okay.
Five, they have Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Boston Celtics.
Whoa. That seems out of left field. Why would Memphis give up on Jaren Jackson?
That was the last one. That was like only five. Like actual trades that might happen during the NBA free agency 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But let me read the Buddy Hield one. That's interesting. So Los Angeles Lakers have consistently been active on their pursuit of additional shooting support for LeBron James and Davis. Buddy Hield of Sacramento Kings. Well, he does not play for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, how old is that article?
It might be June 29, 2023. So maybe that was a typo.
Okay.
Sacramento Kings could fit in the. Oh wait, actually, hold on. And Buddy Hield of the Sacramento Kings could fit the bill. Hield's ability to space the floor and knock down 3-pointers would provide much needed outside shooting for Lakers. A trade package featuring young players and draft picks could entice the Kings. But they're meeting the Pacers.
I guess I see. Social media, man. That article makes zero sense, and the fact that it has a recent date on it is wild to me. All right. Okay, so I guess we'll play the game here. So the Lakers targeted Buddy Hield.
Definitely, yeah.
Maybe the asking price wouldn't be that high because if I'm Indiana, I'm like, we got Halliburton, we got Mathurin. Maybe we feel like if we move Buddy Hield out, that opens up more for Mathurin. Sure. But then if I'm calling the Lakers, what am I asking for? I feel like I'd be calling for like Hachimura. Because at least Hachimura maybe fills the Sabonis role that you lost with Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Lakers are interested in Eric Gordon. That'd be a good backup point guard.
I feel like that's been a rumor for some years too.
Well, I'm just saying, like the team interested in Eric Gordon, Lakers, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, Suns, Bucks, and Trailblazers. Just
I could see Eric Gordon in Milwaukee. I could see that. But if they bring back Middleton, that kind of doesn't really make sense. I mean, I guess I don't hate it. Eric Gordon would be a good get. I'm trying to see if I can work a trade here. Buddy Hield and the Lakers. That makes any sense. Can't believe on this show I've had to play GM for the Sixers and now the Lakers. It's killing me.
Deal with it, man.
I mean, if I was running the Lakers,
Well,
I could fix the Lakers, but Lakers fans wouldn't like it.
I want to hear it, man. You might as well say it. How'd you fix the Lakers? What, ship out LeBron and
Yard
AD?
sale. LeBron, AD, gone.
All right, you know what? It's time to end the show, man.
Tell you don't want to hear it, but bro, the players that are taking up cap on the Lakers is hilarious. They're still paying Jared Dudley.
For real?
He's still holding cap space. Carmelo, Dion Waiters.
Oh my gosh.
Dwight Howard still has a cap hold.
They're still paying him?
Well, he's still holding cap. I think it's just for maybe another year, I believe. Yeah. That's wild that those are the guys who come through and just did not work out. See? Mo agrees. Trade Bron and AD. I'm telling you, there's so many teams in the NBA
Mo,
I could fix very easily.
Mo, man, we have to brace ourselves for tomorrow, man, because it's gonna be crazy storm, my brother.
Mo gets it. You got to rip the Band-Aid off.
I'm saying as a whole, this free agency is gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be a lot of movement.
There's also a good chance it doesn't happen tomorrow. Some of the stuff's going to drag into next week.
He's going to be a party pooper, man.
I'm just saying, some of these athletes want to let it linger on so they stay in the news.
But I have to give you credit, man. I have to give you credit on my show, man, or our show. That I have to give you your flowers, man, because you did say about the draft, about it being not going to be boring. No trades. So
I'm trying to tell you, man. Trying to tell you. Hey, Fox Sports, reach out. I'll go against Skip since nobody else wants to work with me.
Man, that would be hilarious, man.
It might be. Well, I don't know, because Skip's seen as a LeBron hater. People say I'm a LeBron hater. It might be too good.
What?
I mean, yeah, these contracts, man. You got LeBron for 2 more years, almost $48 million. Got to trade it. AD, 2 more years, $41 million. Got to trade it. That's what they should do. They're not going to.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah. Well, I had the NFL game, but I think I'm gonna hold that for next show. I mean, I think the NBA kind of took up the whole show. We're running on almost 2 hours, or actually after a little bit after 2 hours. So I guess it's a good point to end the show. Yeah, I mean, I want to appreciate everyone for tuning in. I know Austin came in. I think Brett came in. Or what did Cypher say?
It said Genie went all in to get the ring in the bubble, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, I mean,
but Laker fans don't want to deal with that.
We'll see.
But, we need LeBron. No, you don't. Move him. Trust me, when this year plays out, he plays about 55 games because his age and all that. All right, when the Lakers are sitting there as like a, I don't want to predict where they'll finish yet because let's see what happens in free agency. But like sitting here going into next season, Lakers, all things work out.
I mean,
the 4 seed.
I mean, if you think about it, the Lakers are not really far off from being to the best of what they can be. I mean, they're just a point guard away that can shoot and kind of relieve the stress off LeBron.
That's not the conversation, though. It's what can they do to dethrone Denver, and I think they're more than a point guard away.
Well, you kind of cut me off, but
I was just saying because you were saying they're not that far away. I was just clarifying when I'm looking at the LeBron.
Well, okay, we're not that far away.
Trying to dethrone Denver because Denver's going to be there for the next couple of years.
We'll take Bruce Brown off Nuggets' shoulders, man.
That
Sorry.
doesn't solve all your problems.
No, I like Bruce Brown. He's a good
I
good
like
backup.
Bruce Brown too, but yeah.
Every player I want, you want on the Celtics, man. Like,
No, I was just saying in general, I like Bruce Brown too.
yeah. But yeah. So before news gets more crazy, I think it's the time to end the show. Like I want to thank everyone for being in the chat. Cool McCain, obviously. Austin, new first time a viewer on the show on Facebook. I know Pigeon was in here on Twitch, so definitely subscribe to the channel on Twitch, and like Mo, like I'm on YouTube too, so definitely subscribe there. Yeah, I appreciate everyone for having in the chat, keeping the show going with topics, and yeah, you can find me on Instagram on my Instagram page, JJ Sports Talk Show. You can follow my main page at JJ_XO, and under my link in my bio, there's like all my links to my shows, so like Spotify, YouTube for the video version, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, basically everywhere you can find podcasts, I'm on there. I do have my podcast merch on, so you want to get a sweatshirt, get a shirt for the summer. It's still up there. I might have to upgrade, since it's summertime. I might have to upgrade the different clothing pieces. But I know Brett got a shirt. Brett Gardopy got a shirt. Appreciate that. So definitely the store is available. And yeah, definitely just keep on supporting the show. I mean, my goal is to find new sports fans and to connect with them, so it's definitely an honor for the chat. I think it's probably one of our since the show I figured out a way, thanks to Kyle, my co-host, he showed me how to put the show on Facebook. So I think let me check the comment. I think we have maybe 100 comments, I think. So on Facebook, I think. Let me see.
That's not going to be something.
So 90 comments, 90 answers, I think. So it's not bad at all. So that's not including the Twitch and the YouTube. So so definitely, man, thank you for the support. And yeah, you any final thoughts, Kyle? I know I had the game we're gonna play, but for NFL, but we can say that for
that's fine.
the next
show.
show.
The next one, yeah. I mean, the only thing is, if I'm not here, I'm either on Sports Empire Network or my channel, which is Chomp at the Bit. Also, if you're on Twitch, it's Kaizy Gamer 84.
Oh, I thought it was Kizzy. I thought it was Kizzy Gamer.
I don't care how you pronounce it. It's
Kaizy Gamer.
Oh. Yeah, it's a shout out to a nickname I had as a kid. So yeah, that's where I'm at Twitch. But everywhere else, you basically just search Chomp at the Bit. You'll find me there. And yeah. Outside of that, like I said, Sports Empire Network. That's it. I'm just trying to get out there as much as I can.
Yeah, and yeah. So with that being said, I'm Jordan Jean-Louis, the host of the JJ Sports Talk Show. Got my co-host, my wingman, Kyle Edwards. And with that being said, it's been a good show. And that being said, we are out.
Yep.